All right. So what we're going to try to do is look at some Battlefront 2 hacking. First, let's explain the problem. We open up Battlefront 2. As you can see here, we have chat messages stored. Each chat message represents a session in a server. Okay, we have 19. If we go here and we just create a multiplayer game, since I'm pretty sure we'll be able to join one, we can see that this one has been created, though it's currently empty. All right, and if we save some messages, I guess they won't be saved till I leave. So let's leave. You can see that I said this. Okay. Now here's the problem. Let's say I create another one. I go in here, say some stuff. All right. As you can see, no message has been created. Right, and if I leave, it's still the old message, right? So it's not saving past 20 chat messages is the problem. Okay, so let's investigate. First, what we're going to do is we're going to open up Cheat Engine. Okay, Cheat Engine is a pretty incredible piece of software. People, think that it's for cheating, and you can use it to cheat, but it's really a lot more than that. It's a disassembler, it's a debugger, it's a hex editor, it's all sorts of great things. And what we're going to do is we're going to use it to inspect the Battlefront 2 process. So we open up Battlefront 2.exe, right? We select the process, select Battlefront 2.exe. All right, we take a look here. Now, we're going to use the memory view option. This is a disassembly of the entire game right here. It's lots and lots of stuff. Goes on forever. And here is the hex dump of the game. Once again, lots and lots of stuff. Goes on forever. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we know that these chat messages are named chat somenumber.txt, right? And we know that, identifiers such as variable names don't exist in assembly code, right? Function names sometimes do, but not really, especially not in object dumps when there's no debug flags. All we have is assembly instructions, which are usually just hexadecimal values. However, strings that the program is actually going to use have to be stored somewhere, because whereas a variable, like if you say int counter equals 0, that the name counter is an identifier in the program. It doesn't actually mean anything to the code. A string does mean something because the user has to actually see that string. And disassemblers or debuggers have a way of finding strings. So we're going to look through reference strings. This means that this is all string objects that somewhere the instruction references. So we're going to do a search. It's going to take a couple seconds. Okay, so now we have a list of every single string this program uses. And we're going to do a search for chat, because we know that the word chat has to appear somewhere. Okay, so we do a find. Oh, and we see right here exactly what we're looking for. Chat%d.text. So this is clearly being used for a printf, where we're going to have chat%d represents the number of chat, like which chat we're looking at, and then txt is the extension of the file name. And we have two places where this is referenced. So let's look at the first one. So in the first one, you can see here that we're going to push this string onto the stack. We're going to do some other fun stuff with it, and I'm not going to go into trying to understand this exact assembly code right now. We do some cool stuff with it. Let's look at the. I did a lot more investigation the first time I did this, but I'm going to skip that part for now and just show you the good stuff. So let's go to the second one, because I know the second one is a bit closer. And we see that a bit after the second one here, we have this comparison EDI in 14. 14 hexadecimal. The disassembler is nice enough to show us in the comments is 20 in decimal, right? So we know from our using the program that the limit is 20 chats stored, right? So when we see the number 20 here and we see that we're doing a comparison, this should jump out at us. We should be thinking, okay, this is probably relevant. And we see right after the comparison is a JG, which means jump if greater. This assembler even has a short comment here. Jump short if greater. Right, so it's basically telling us if it's greater than 20, right, then we're going to jump to a section, which essentially means we're going to skip the code that's coming after it. The disassembler is showing us this line where we're going to skip to. We're going to skip the next, 8 instructions or so. If it's greater than 20, right? So we can just make a guess and say that these next 8 instructions are the instructions that are going to add another chat message. So I did a lot of experimentation, but I'll just show you now. If we go here and we're going to reassemble this code with code that does nothing. Okay, we're going to replace the 2 instructions there with 2 90s, no ops, which means do nothing here. So now we're going to do a comparison, and then we're going to ignore the comparison and just continue as if nothing happened. And now, if we go and create another server, this is assembling the code on the fly in the game, which is a great feature of Cheat Engine. We see chat 21 was now created, right? And if we type some stuff and then leave the game, we can immediately see that our chat was in fact saved, right? And we can go and we can do this again. Let's add other stuff. We can see down here that chat 22 is created now, right? And if we leave, we can see our messages in there. All right, testing 22. See? So we successfully found the correct instructions that we needed to remove. Now, we actually have to apply these changes. Unfortunately, Cheat Engine is not very good at rewriting the executable file after disassembling in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to restore with original code, and we're going to keep track of the instructions that we need over here. So what we're going to do is just open up text editor, right? We're just going to copy these down. 83FF14 7F19. So we know that we need to look for these somewhere. Okay, so now we're going to close Cheat Engine, close the game. Okay, great. Close all this. So we need to find these instructions. So what we're going to do is, first we're going to rename this dot to use. Sorry. Call this, I have lots of experimentations I do here, so I've got a few. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up a text editor, hex editor, HXD it's called. Open up this file. We see we have our original right here. And we're going to do a search for this hex string, these hex values. And we're going to see if it occurs any more times. It only occurs once, so we know we found the right one. And we know that these last 2 instructions we need to no op, so we're going to replace them with 90, 2 90s. Now we're going to save as just battlefront2.exe. And now we have our remade one. This is the one that we just created. You can see the date here. It was created at 6:31 p.m. We just created this. Now we're going to run this. I'm using a shortcut so that I can get special options to make it in the window. Go create. Again, the last one we had was 22. And you can see there's no Cheat Engine open here, so we're just relying on whatever the code is. And bam, chat 23 it is. Test 23. Leave. Make sure that it's saved properly. Bam. We can see that by editing simple hex instructions based on educated guesses, we've successfully accomplished our goal of removing the 20 messages limit or 20 sessions limit on the number of sessions we can store in chat. That's it for now.